So I'm not gonna lie to you, this video is because I was watching One Piece and figured out how to make the move that Shanks uses and Goldie Roger uses real. The one that's called Divine Departure. And let me tell you, it's actually kind of crazy. Like, it takes the things that swords are literally made for and says, wait a second, what if I didn't care? And since at the time of writing this, there are only 2 people that have used that move, and one of them is one of my favorite Yonkos, we are gonna talk about Red Hair Shanks. And use him to kick off the One Piece section of our series where we learn how to fight like our favorite fictional characters. But first, run that intro. What's up guys, this is only Ninja wearing Avers and superhero hat, and welcome to the Modern Ninja channel, where weirdly enough, I'm not wearing a superhero hat, so let's fix that. Almost. Perfect, now we have a pirate hat for a pirate episode. I hope that works in editing. Now before we get into what Shanks' real life fighting style actually is, we need to go over just a couple things first. Number 1, if you like this kind of content, subscribe, duh. Number 2, I am incredibly sorry that I haven't been posting very recently. I have like a really good reason, I swear, but I'll let you know that reason in the life update at the end of this video, so if you don't actually care, which I get it, you don't have to watch that part. And lastly, who exactly is Red Hair Shanks? Shanks is one of the emperors of the New World. Basically, those are just like the top 4 strongest pirates in the entire verse. And they're also the ones who are the closest to finding the legendary One Piece.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
He is also the man that bet it all on Luffy. And when I say bet it all, I mean his left arm. Sacrificing it to save Luffy, giving him his famous straw hat, and pretty much setting up the entire story from then on. So yeah, you can really just thank Shanks for the entirety of One Piece. And if that wasn't enough to make him feel important to you, he also got his start as a pirate under the flag of the King of the Pirates, Goldie Roger. And obviously learned quite a lot from him, allowing him to ascend to one of the strongest pirates in the verse. And the power that he's acquired has made him and his combat style so legendary. But how does the man actually throw hands? Well, excuse me, hand singular. Well, first, he doesn't actually throw hands or hand at all. He is considered a swordsman, one that's really strong, able to go toe-to-toe with literally someone who is known as the strongest swordsman in the world, Dracula Mihawk. And even after losing his dominant arm, which, fun fact, Shanks was a lefty, didn't know that until today, he was able to stand blow for blow against Whitebeard himself, the strongest man in the world, at least someone known to be the strongest man in the world. Whether he was at the time is debatable. But this is not a power scaling video, so I'm not gonna get into it, but I'd really love to know whether or not you think Whitebeard or Red Hair was stronger at the time. But when it comes to what fighting style he actually uses, that's actually kind of hard. We barely see him fight in the entire series. We hear lots of myths about it, and we see him throw a few strikes here and there, but we don't really get to see him fight. So we're gonna have to use our noggins on this one, and yes, I have yellow hair. Who noticed it before now? We're gonna start with figuring out where Shanks would actually be from if he was in real life, like what his ethnicity is. And trust me, it's important, just hold on. Based on his skin and hair, it definitely gives European, and spoiler alert, but with how involved he seems to be with the giants of Elbaf and his overall Viking aesthetic, I'm really leaning towards Nordic or Scandinavian in his background. And so if we assume that he's from that general area, we can start to see what fighting styles are also from there and see which one matches. And like I said before, he uses a sword, obviously with one hand, because the left one is a sacrifice. And so let's outline all the martial arts styles that come from that area and use a sword. There are 5 recognized martial arts styles that come from that area that I can think of, and if you can think of others, please let me know, but here are the 5. I have Viking swordsmanship, which is a branch of Hema. I have Norwegian saber fencing, which is also a branch of Hema. We have the Swedish military fencing. We have Viking reenactment combat, which sounds super cool to learn, and we have Glima, which I've talked about before on this channel. But Glima doesn't even have swords, so that one is obviously not it. However, 4 candidates is still way too many, and so let's narrow it down. Shanks uses a single-edged saber, and so Viking reenactment and Viking swordsmanship are both out because they don't really use single-edged sabers in their styles. Which, it's kind of surprising that he's not using a Viking style of combat, but it is what it is. I don't make the rules. This is really more me being a detective than anything else. But then it gets a little tricky because I thought which one of those styles has handguards, and let me tell you, both the Norwegian saber fencing and Swedish military fencing have single sabers with handguards just like Shanks use. And from there, I was kind of stumped, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know where to go, didn't know where to look, but with a lot more research, a lot more coffee, and a little bit of observation hockey, I think I came on to something. I've realized something. I've never seen Shanks stab anything. Like, I'm not saying he can't, but I've never seen it. Throughout the entire series, the only moves he shows are slash type attacks, and even his blocks are slash type, which makes sense, but that's not the point. The point is that Norwegian saber fencing, despite the name, has almost no stabbing motions as well. Instead, the entire style is focused on slashing, cutting, and parries, cavalry style. And when I start to think of it, there are a lot of other aspects that make sense, like how it has an emphasis on mobility and speed, just like Shanks does. And they use similar scabbards to the one we see Shanks use as well. Plus the fact that it was generally trained for battlefield application as opposed to the more ceremonial use of Swedish military fencing, I think we finally found our answer. Red Hair Shanks fights with Norwegian saber fencing. And for those of you that want to know more about that specific martial arts style, more than just the tutorial that we're going to go through in here, which probably isn't even in that art at all, you are going to have to go and check out HEMA and find a HEMA community or school, or a historical European martial art community or school. That's honestly going to be your best bet of learning this style, because there's very few surviving manuals or scripts from this style that still exist. Many were destroyed for a list of reasons, most often being a war or invasion from another country. So good luck finding one, but let's get into the tutorial for today.
Okay, so this is where I start to be a little bit honest with you guys. Really, I made this entire video because I wanted to talk about Divine Departure. That's honestly what I wanted to do, because I just saw Shanks do it. And a little bit ago, I saw Roger do it. And let me be honest with you, they do it differently, but I think I've figured out exactly what makes it Divine Departure as opposed to just a normal slash, right? What makes it different than just a cut or a slash. But before I get into what makes it different, I'm going to tell you what makes a normal slash. First, with your hands on your sword just like this. Most, not all, but most slashes cut in and pull back from their target, right? Because you're kind of like a knife cutting and pulling the blade through your target, opening it up, making a bigger wound, and cutting a little bit deeper because you have that saw feature. If it's not already bluntly obvious, that is upon on purpose, this is a blunt sword for a reason. This is a tricking sword. It's what I use for doing all the cool tricks and stuff that you see me do literally all the time on this channel. And so if you want one like this, then check out the link down in the description. You can also use my discount code NINJA10 so that you can use it safely and get a discount so that, you know, you can save a little bit of money. So if that's interesting to you, definitely get one. But anyway, back to what makes a cut. Pulling through your target will cut them open and, like, you know, deal more slashing damage. However, with Divine Departure, it's gonna work a little bit different from a base. Now, the one time we see Shanks do Divine Departure, he does it from the offhand side to the dominant side, and with the one time we see Roger do Divine Departure, we see it from the dominant side to the offhand side. So when you're doing this, depending on how you're doing it, Shanks version or Roger's version, you're gonna have your hand facing in different directions. If you're doing Shanks version, the palm needs to be facing down, and if you're doing Roger's version, the palm needs to be facing up. Now that we got that clear, what makes it Divine Departure and sends people flying is because they don't just cut through their target, they actually put pushing pressure. They are somehow strong enough to put pushing pressure into their sword before they complete their cut. meaning they strike out, push, and cut out with their wrists at the very end of the slash, making this move look more in slow motion like push out slash, or if I'll do it this way, push out slash, as opposed to just a normal sword slash. And for Roger, he does it the same way, it's just from the other side. It is out, push, this entire motion is the push, and then slash at the very end. Push, slash. That is Roger's divine departure, and Shanks's is push, slash at the very end. That's Shanks' divine departure, which is really cool that they invented a sword move that pushes more than it does cut. Now, what purpose would you have for that in real life? I don't know. This is an anime. Half this stuff wouldn't actually have a use in real life. But we don't care about that. What we care about is doing divine departure. And so you can literally push and slash, or push and slash, and do divine departure with a sword that is safe. Please. But like I said, this is anime. So if you choose to take a bladed object and push with it, your results may vary.
Okay guys, I gotta be real with you. I'm sorry I haven't been posting. I promise I've got a plan to post more in the future, like going forward, just to post more consistently. I have a plan, I swear. Excuse me. But here's the thing. I was very busy, very busy, actually starting a new business, a martial arts school of my own called Flair Martial Arts. That's the logo right there. I'm very proud of it. It's taken a lot of effort, a lot of teamwork from not only myself, but friends, families, the parents of my students themselves. Like, it's been a crazy journey. A lot has been going on. And if you would like to come check out the school, you are more than welcome to. I'm there all the time, so just feel free to stop by and check out a class. If you want me to do a video talking about what the school is and, you know, giving you information about it, definitely let me know. I don't mind talking about it. I just feel like it's probably not wanted on a video about One Piece. So, but in the spirit of keeping this short, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all for sticking around if you have. But in particular, I appreciate the channel members that have stuck it with me through the drought. And if you want to join these guys and be awesome, as well as get to see all my content earlier than everybody else, definitely consider becoming a member today. And if you can't afford to, that's okay. I don't want to take anybody's last dollar or anything. You can just comment down below, letting me know I'm not a horrible person for leaving y'all for so long. And until next time, my name's DJ Moore. This is the Modern Ninja, and I'm out. Whew.
Be the modern ninja, but
Lift off.
Just know I'm dangerous.
30 minutes. Baby. Perfect.
I'm on that Bruce Lee, flow like water, state of mind. Got me going farther than I ever thought I could have been. Gotta grab a sheet of paper, as you know I got the pen. Anybody want to smoke your whole career, be looking grim. Out here flashing change while your boy been in the gym. Watch me spitting flames while the frogs try to